Again, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. I am so excited to just talk about moving forward, how you can have some serious mojo this week. If you are feeling stuck, the 6 things that are stopping you and how we can conquer that and make some things happen. But before we go into that, I want to hear some wins. I know we have a lot of momentum. We closed out the month super strong. Congratulations to all of you in January for pushing hard and closing out strong. And so I want to hear some wins. Would anybody be willing to and want to share a win that you had this last week, or even this last month, something that you did, how you conquered a fear, or you were able to do something big that you haven't done before, push past something. Okay, I'm going to let you just jump in. Larissa, I see your hand is up. Thank you so much for joining us. You can go ahead and share.
Good morning. So I have something that touches on every one of those topics you just covered. So number one for myself, I was able to rank up to Opal. So that is huge for me. I have been working really, really hard on on my ranks. Number two, I have an associate that I've been working with that um she's there. She's got that fire, she's got that desire and that drive now, and it's so awesome to see her coming to me for advice and then going out and doing the actions and doing it scared. Like, I love it. I love that she's stepping out of her comfort zone and doing that. And thirdly, one of the fears I conquered this week was I went to Verizon because I had to get me a new phone, and I had worn this sweatshirt that said normal isn't coming back, but Jesus is. And it sparked a conversation with my Verizon sales rep. And so I'm hoping I have his contact information. He sent it to me, and I'm hoping to be able to connect with him. We haven't yet, but that was huge for me to be able to share a snippet of what I do and what our company can do for his life, especially when I listened to his desire of wanting to travel and help other people. And it was a really cool experience.
That is so awesome. Congratulations. And that's just a testament of, continuing to go after it and make things happen. Like, opportunities show up, right? When we just take action. So great job. Congratulations. Does anybody else want to share? I think I saw another hand up. Let me go back to, um, or you can just pop in if you would like to share. Anybody?
Hey, I've got something, Mindy.
Hi, how are you?
Hello, I'm great. Driving through the snow, but I'm on. So, in Minnesota.
I love your hat and your hair. How fun.
Thank you. I got it in Milwaukee. We missed you this time. But, okay, so here's what I'm going to say. I've been here for, 2.5 years? And I always thought, I'm out of my head. Nope. But in the last week, I've literally got out of my head. I've been going after people in my friends list that I'm like, oh, I never even realized who they were before. And it's a mindset thing. So I just want to share that with everybody. Like, you think that you've gone through everybody, you haven't. To go back through again. Don't be scared, because they're not paying your bills. We got bills to pay. And don't be scared to go after anybody that's on your friends list, because if they don't like what you're doing, then they're just gonna let you go. But if you don't tell them, and with this right now, you guys, I have somebody who months and months she's been wanting to get our daily house system, and this morning I saw her on my story, so I was like, hey, $6 more than what you were going to buy, and you can join our company. Whatever you do with it, you're going to get a discount.
Right.
So I just want everybody to know, just keep going and get out of your head, because either they're going to take you or leave you for who you are, and that's okay. But get out of your head and just do it, because I'm doing it, and it's fun.
I love it, Angie. Thank you so much for sharing that.
And
we're going to talk a lot about that today, because I know that feeling. I know exactly what you're talking about. It was when I decided, screw it. Like, I don't care what anybody else thinks. I'm doing this. Nobody else is paying my bills but me. And I went from stuck, for 4 months of just like nobody, doing anything in my team because I wasn't doing anything in my team, to all of a sudden we just exploded. And it really is a mindset shift. And just taking that action to do it. So is there I'm just going to ask because we are talking about this, okay? So is there something that triggered to make you just all of a sudden just say, screw it, I'm just doing this. I'm just going to talk to the people. I don't care anymore. There's something.
Because I've been stuck,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm sick of being stuck. That's not who I am. But you know what? It's also the mind growth that we have here in realizing just what we have. Like I've always known it, but I haven't put it into action. And I can say our Mojo mornings really do, like, yes, Mindy, okay, fine, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get out of my head. Like your story of, fake calling people way back when, that goes through my mind a lot too. But I'm sick of being stuck.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what really triggered it. Like, I'm done. I'm moving forward.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. It's just sometimes it is just being sick of it. Sometimes it's something we really want, or sometimes it's the bear's on our butt and we're sick and tired of running from the bear, and we've just decided to face it and go forward and make it happen. But I love that. Okay, Amber, I see your hand is up. Do you want to share?
Yes, sorry, I was having technical difficulties. My phone kept connecting to the car and then I couldn't hear anything.
That's okay. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much for sharing.
So after the race to Provo, Jeff was talking about exposure and making sure we get people in front of you guys, particularly because we don't have nearly as much experience. So I actually got out of my comfort zone and I invited 9 people to the presentation. I did get one to listen, and she's asking questions. So I'm hopeful that I'll get my first associate.
Great job. Congratulations. I'm excited for you. That's so good.
Thank you.
For sharing that. That is awesome. I love it. Okay, we have time for one more share. Does anybody want to share anything?
I will.
Okay, awesome. Chelsea, hi.
Hi. Okay. So I have just been going for no so hardcore. Like you don't even want to know. You might be like, back up. But in the past week and a half, I signed 2 associates, and one of them I think actually wants to do something. So I'm super excited about that. I'm super excited about our promo right now because everybody that has said they want to try it, but based off of like price point, they're not, like they have no excuses. So it's also really helping me sift through the people that I really shouldn't be maybe working so hard on right now, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe into people that want to work the business and are ready. So I'm grateful for that.
I love it. I love it. And when you say you're going for no so hard, like people are saying, chill out. I bet with that conviction, just even there, people are going to be afraid not to follow you. Is that right? Like when you say, I'm going for the no so hard, is it your conviction?
Yeah. I feel like we just have so much to offer everybody. And if they're ready and willing to hear it, then they're going to be here for it. And if they're not, I'm just more resilient and able to move forward. Like I'm not dismissing it, but maybe from their perspective, maybe they're feeling a little bit respected and then they know that they like can come back to me in the future if they're ready. But I'm talking about like not sticking with the people that you've asked already 10 times that, even if they said yes, maybe they would just get one product and then not really be consistent. I'm just like moving forward with the people that are ready to move forward. And just, I don't know, I'm excited for February.
I love it. Congratulations, Chelsea. So excited for you. All right. Well, you guys, I am so excited to talk to all of you. This morning I was thinking, what do I talk about this morning that is going to move the needle, that is going to make February your very best month? And this is what I thought of today. So I am so excited because for those of you who don't know my story, Angie said a little bit of my story, but you guys all have to know, yes, I'm a top producing Blue Diamond. Yes, I have built two multi-million-dollar businesses in this space, but I should all give you hope because if I can do this, each and every one of you can do this. When I first got in this industry, I had all of the symptoms that we're going to talk about today. I felt stuck. I had so much fear that my very first day of actually that I was supposed to take action, I sat down with my mentor and she said, we're going to go out and we're going to get some customers. We're going to make some calls to get some customers. And my goal was to get 20 customers. Okay. That was my goal. Well, you guys, I was so scared to make those calls that I pretended to make phone calls for the entire 2.5 hours. I'm not even joking. Do you know how hard it is to pretend to make calls, But that's how scared I was. And for the first 3.5 weeks, I sat and worried about it, cried about it. I told my husband it wasn't working, even though I hadn't talked to anybody. Of course, it wasn't working because I hadn't talked to anybody, right? But I had so much fear and anxiety about doing it. And then I also had a lot of baggage. I had a lot of like, things in my past that hadn't worked out the way I thought they were going to work out. And all of that stuff was coming up. And I was stuck for 4 months. When I first got started, when I really thought I was going to go out and do it. How many of you have ever set a goal and you just thought for sure you were going to hit that goal, but then it didn't work out? I set goals and set goals and set goals, but I wasn't hitting those goals. If you've ever set a goal and maybe you didn't hit that goal, I want you to drop it in the chat. Okay, because it doesn't mean that you are a failure. For a long time, I felt like I was a failure. There's no such thing as a failure, okay? There's three types of people, and I really want you to think about this. There's only three types of people. There's winners, there's quitters, and there's winners who haven't won yet. You notice I didn't say that one of them is a failure, okay? You can't fail if you don't quit. And when I realized that, okay, I can still do this. I've just got to start taking action. And I've got to, I got to move forward. Well, here's what happened for me. I went from feeling like a failure, starting and stopping and starting and stopping and being scared to talk to people to all of a sudden, I just said, screw it. It was like I was carrying 20 pounds of suitcases all around with all this baggage of all of, my past failures and all of this fear. And it was like it was when it got to where I wanted it bad enough and I didn't care what anybody else thought. I dropped the baggage, I dropped the fear, and I took action. And when I took action, I started getting results because failure can't cope with persistence. Once you make a definite decision to do something, the universe is going to respond. I think Angie said it very best. You haven't talked to everybody, and you may be feeling like you have. But I will tell you from my own experience that my first 4 months, I thought I had talked to everybody. That was part of my story. Like my whole family thinks I'm crazy. You have to know when I first got started, my dad said nobody makes any money in network marketing, only the people at the top. And I mean, my dad's my hero. Like I respect him so much, and his opinion is so important to me. And so when he was saying, you're crazy to do that, that was really hard for me. My sister thought I was crazy. My sister said that she knew people that had done what I was doing and they didn't make any money. My brother-in-law told me he would never be known as a network marketer, even if I was making $30,000 a month, he would never do anything like that. My brother kept asking me, have you got rich yet? You know, all of those things. How many of you can relate to this? Do you have any friends or family that maybe think you're a little crazy? Well, here's what you have to know. In order to get into the 3%, you have to be willing to do what 97% of the people are not willing to do. So if 97% of the people around you are thinking you are crazy, you just have to know you're on the right track. You got to keep going. But here was my whole family thinking I was crazy. I felt like I had talked to everybody because my whole list was friends and family, and a lot of them thought I was crazy. And so I had this excuse that I had talked to everybody. But then it was like what Angie said, where one day I just made the decision that I'm not going to live like this anymore. Like, I'm not going to be this person anymore. I am going to take action, and it doesn't matter what everybody else thinks. I am going to move forward. Nobody else is paying my bills but me. I dropped the baggage, and we went from no momentum, stuck, frustrated, to bringing in over 300 people in our organization within 60 days. And then the very next month after that, brought in 1,000 people and exploded to the top of the company, built a multi-million-dollar business. Now, it was not anything that the company did. It was me. I changed. I made a decision to win. I made a decision to not be stuck anymore. I made a decision to move forward. You have to know that remember I told you that I had thought I had talked to everybody, and then once I made the decision, I actually thought of 40 new people that I'd never thought of before. These were some acquaintances, okay, but it was new people that I hadn't thought of before, because once you make a definite decision, creative ideas will come to you. The people will come to you. The resources will come to you for you to go and explode it. But you have to prove to the universe that you are ready, that you're willing, that you have that commitment. It's not about your ability, okay? It's about your commitment. And I just hadn't made that commitment. For 4 months, I was wishy-washy. And then I made this absolute commitment. It was like a force to be reckoned with, that nobody could stop me. Okay, so are you ready, first of all, to make the commitment today? And I will tell you, okay, this is one other thing I just have to say, because I remember being so frustrated when I would hear this my first 4 months, because I was like, no, I made the commitment. I'm willing to do whatever it takes. But I hadn't made that decision or that commitment that I was willing to sacrifice, that no matter what obstacle came in my way, I was doing it. I was doing it in a major way. I hadn't made the commitment that I was going to do it even when it was inconvenient, or even when I was tired, or even when I was scared. And I will tell you, and this is what we're going to talk about, is fear. Okay, because fear is the number one cause of death to success. I should actually write that down, but it really is true. Okay, if you want to not have success, just let fear continue to step in your way, because fear was the number one cause of my death for a long time, of not having success. You know, fear of failure, fear of the unknown, fear of what other people thought. All of those things really were stopping me from having success. And if somebody asks me, what is the number one reason why people don't have success? What is the number one reason why people are in the 97% bracket rather than the 3%? It's fear. And so we're going to talk about this so that you can move forward. And here's what you have to know. Fear is good. Like, anybody that tells you that, you know, if you have fear, then, you know, you're weak, or you're not making it happen. No, fear is normal. Fear is good. In fact, successful people will tell you that, yes, fear is fuel. Fear is the way that you know that you're going to do something big, that you're going to grow, that change is going to happen. In fact, I was at this big event with Grant Cardone, and a billionaire stood up on stage, and she said, they asked her, what advice would you give us if we want to take our life to the next level. And she said, every day, run to the danger. Every day, do something that scares you to death. Like run to the danger every single day. That's how you're going to grow. That's how you're going to win. That's how you're going to see change that happens. And so every day ask yourself, did I do something that scared me? Did I do something that, that took my life to the next level? And so is fear stopping you from growing? I really want you to really think about it. You don't have to drop it in the chat or anything, but I just want you to think deep down inside, is fear stopping you from growing? Fear stopped me from growing for a lot of years. Is fear giving you excuses that you're too busy to do this, but yet you can binge on Netflix at night, okay? Or maybe you can do other things, but you're saying you're too busy, okay? For me, and I'm just only speaking for myself, my first little bit in this industry, I kept saying I was too busy. And I had really, really great excuses, you guys. I was working full time. I'm full time, a mom with 4 kids. My youngest was 7. My oldest was 13 at that time. They all had activities. None of them could drive. And so I was like driving kids all over the place. I mean, I know I can see many of you ladies right now, you're driving your kids around, right? That was me. And, I had legit excuses because I was working at full time. My husband was traveling everywhere. So he would literally leave first thing early in the morning, Monday morning, and he wouldn't come back until late Saturday night sometimes, okay, because he traveled with his business and with our business. And so I was kind of like a single mom working full time, 4 kids. And I had some great excuses as to why I couldn't do it. But what I realized is that wasn't getting me results. My excuses were not getting me any results, right? And yet I found time to do some things that, weren't moving the needle. Like sometimes I would make excuses that I needed to go do this for my kids or do something, but yet it wasn't actually pushing the needle to make things happen. And so it wasn't until I pulled all of my kids together and said, listen, I'm doing this for you. Let's make a plan. We made a decision to win. We made a decision to sacrifice. And I told my son, listen, I might have to miss a couple of football practices or a game or two so that we can create this life that we've always dreamed of. I had to tell my daughter I might have to miss a few things so that we can do this, but let's talk about what we can do as a family to move forward. And because we made that decision, I want you to know it's worth it. Okay. I see so many moms right now. And if I see dads too. Okay. But I just want to say, listen, it is worth it. It is worth it. The lifestyle that we were able to provide for our family, has been unbelievable. There was one moment in my daughter's life where I had to miss a dance recital. And you ladies, if you have girls in dance, okay, the dance recital is the biggest thing ever because they practice all year long for this event, right? But I had just started a rock star in California. That is Miss Jennifer Dowd, okay? She was my best friend since high school. I committed to her to help her grow, and I knew we had to create success for her. And she had just happened to start right when my daughter's dance recital was. And I knew I was going to have to sacrifice that. And so I, sat my daughter down and I said, I'm going to have to miss this, but I am doing this for us so that we can have something big, something special. And I cried the night of her dance recital because I was in California. Nobody knew. Even Jennifer didn't know. Okay. But after all the meetings were done, I cried that night and I thought, oh my gosh, is this worth it? I called my daughter. We did a phone call back then. It wasn't even a FaceTime because we didn't have FaceTime, but I called her, to make sure she was good. But I remember crying thinking, is this going to be worth it? Is this going to be worth it? And, I just want you to know that daughter who I am talking about, she actually in high school, I was able to send her to a performing private art school, a dream that she had. And you have to know, before that, I couldn't even afford gymnastics for her. Okay. Like there were things that we couldn't do because it was money, may I? And then we just decided together, we're doing this, we're making this big. And I was able to send her to that private, actually, all three of my girls to a private performing arts school. And then the college of her dreams in New York City. I could never have afforded to do those things, you guys. So I just want you to know, and there's so many other things that I can share with you, but I want you to know it's worth it. Our biggest vacation was Jackson Hole, Wyoming, before this industry. It was a drive to Jackson Hole, Wyoming. And now we've been able to travel the world and do amazing things that we never thought were even possible. You can do this, but it's going to take work. So let's go through the 6 things. Okay. I know I went off on a tangent, but I just have to tell you this because it's so important for you to understand that you have the power to build a multi-million-dollar business, but you have to conquer your fears. There are 6 symptoms of fear that stop people. And as we go through these symptoms, okay, just remember the goal isn't to banish the fear. The goal is just to recognize it, call it out, and take action. Okay. So number 1 is FOMO, fear of missing. You always hear fear of missing out, but it's actually fear of missed opportunity. How many of you have ever, been on social media, or you have a friend who is out killing it and you're like, man, I wish I was doing that. I wish I could do that. You have to know that you have the ability to do it right now. Okay. But when we start focusing on other things that are happening or whatever, we get lost in what we're creating, what we're doing, or when we start thinking the grass is greener someplace else, right? You guys, the number 1 key to success is focus. I can tell you that I'm so guilty of that FOMO, that there's been times when I feel like I'm going to miss out on something. But the way that I was able to go from 0 to building a massive business is because of focus. And focus is the number 1 key to success. Stay focused on what you're creating, what you're doing, and don't let these bunny trails stop you from, having the success that you want, because truly that is something that really kills success, is FOMO. Okay, number 2, comparisonitis. How many of you have been on social media scrolling? I know I have, okay? And I'm comparing my chapter 1 to their chapter 22. I will tell you, anybody that's had success or is where they are today, it's because they also were where you are now. Okay. So do not compare your bloopers to somebody else's highlights. That is the thief of all joy. The only person that you should ever compare yourself with is the person you are or you were yesterday. Okay. The person that is looking in the mirror at you, and that's you. Okay. So compare your results and what you're creating and what you're doing, and only look at that. In fact, journal it. Write down all of the growth and the strengths and the things that you have going on in your life. Keep track of that, and only let that gratitude and abundance and that energy of making things happen be in your life. And all of the other things, just be excited about what everybody else has going on, and just know that you have the ability to do it too, but you're going to do it in your way. Okay. You're going to do it in a way that only you can do, and stop that comparisonitis, because that kills growth for you. Okay, analysis paralysis is the third one. Analysis paralysis is a huge one, because how many of you have ever had a hard time making a decision? Where it just stops all kinds of growth. Make the decision and do it. It may not be, it might be a messed up decision, but that's okay. The only way you're going to have growth is by taking action. And so every day, just make the decision and do it. And I will tell you that when you make that decision, there's really no such thing as a wrong decision because it's all about perception. As you move forward, even the mess up decisions are going to make you grow. They're going to help you win. And so take action every single day. Be on your feet, make those decisions quickly. Number 4 is perfectionism. This is one that has truly been a huge one for me, where I feel like, okay, I just got to get it all perfect. I got to get these systems all done before I'm just going to explode. In fact, I will tell you that my first 4 months, I really felt like I was working the business. But what I was doing is I was just doing busy work. I wasn't actually doing the work that was going to make us money. I felt like I gotta learn the perfect way to launch somebody. I gotta have the perfect system in place before I just take action. I've got to have the perfect scripts and the perfect things and the perfect that, and that stunts growth. Okay, so do not let perfectionism stop you from winning. Take on the attitude that it's better done than perfect. Now, obviously, we're going to strive to make it our very best, but until you take action, you put your very best work out there, and then I promise you, you're always going to find ways to make it better. But just take action and just know that as you take action, that's when you're going to learn how to launch somebody. As you take action, that's when you're going to learn how to present better, because the first time to everything, you have to be really, really bad the first time to everything. And then you're going to be okay. And then you're going to be good. And then you're going to be great. And then you're going to be excellent. And then you're going to be exceptional. But no matter what, you're going to start bad. I mean, that's just the way it is. Now, bad to you, that doesn't mean it's bad to everybody else. My very first presentation I ever did in my career of network marketing was the worst presentation on the planet. Okay. It was terrible. Like, I wish I had a recording of it. I would give all of you so much hope, because I was like a deer in headlights. I didn't even know my name when I was doing the presentation. And it wasn't like I was presenting to thousands of people at that time. There were about 15 people in the room. Okay. But I was so scared to death, I couldn't even think of my name. Like, that's how crazy it was. Okay. It was the worst presentation in the world. But to those 15 people, it was the best presentation ever, because it was the only one they'd ever seen before. So it didn't even matter. They didn't know that it was the worst presentation in the world. In fact, all I did for all of them was give them hope, because they were like, man, if this girl can do it, then I can do this too. I mean, dang, right? I just gave them hope. So don't try to be perfect. Just take action. And as you take action, then things are going to work out and things are going to get better. Okay. Step number 5, or I guess a symptom that stops people, is imposter syndrome. Have you ever felt like a fraud, or have you ever felt like you don't deserve the success you had? Okay, I will tell you that there's many times when I have felt like that. Like, man, I don't know if I'm worthy of this success. Stop that. Each and every one of you, you are worthy, and you have to know that you're good enough. You are enough right now. You don't have to read one more book to go out and have the success. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't read the books, right? But what I'm trying to tell you is it's already inside you. That successful, strong, bold, confident, kick butt businesswoman or businessman, you already know it's there. You feel it. That's why you're here today, right? You already know it's there. And so you are worthy of that success. You have what it takes. You wouldn't have the dream if you didn't have the ability already to go do it. Again, it's not about your ability. It's about your commitment to making this happen. It's about your commitment to taking action. It's about your commitment to doing the work and to talking to the people and doing the things that are going to move the needle and make it happen. Okay. So you're enough. You have to know that you already have what it takes. You deserve the very best in your life. You were born to win. You are a champion. It's already there. It's already inside of you. Now go out and make it happen. Show everybody that that is who you are. Okay, the number 6, the last symptom of fear is the disease to please or being a people pleaser. Now, if I had to choose out of all 6 of these, which one was my biggest one that stopped me from having success, it was number 6. It was the disease to please. It was that fear of shining bright and going out there and maybe, you know, like looking like I don't even know what it was. I don't even know how to explain it. But, a lot of times we will dim our light because we want to please somebody else. Like we don't want to step out of whatever comfort zone we've been in with our family, with our friends, and all of those people. But you have to know if you're taking your life to another level, if you're getting in the 3%, you're going to shine bright. You're going to step out there. You're going to go against the grain. And that is okay. Do not be afraid to go out there and make a difference and make change happen. And I just want to end with this because I told you my story of my family and how they thought I was crazy and everything. Well, I just decided, you know what? They're not paying my bills. And a decision that helped me to go build was I decided when I got my first $30,000 check, I was going to prove to my family that this industry was amazing and that I could do it. And, that I was going to copy this check or even just put this $30,000 check on my dad's fridge so that every time my like sister, brother, anybody that came over to the house or my mom and dad, they would see this check. Like that was what got me excited. Now, here's the funny thing. I never actually did that when I got my first $30,000 check. I didn't ever do that because I'd grown past that by that point. But by the time I got my $30,000 check, my dad actually he went to see me on stage because I asked him, I said, hey, listen, we had just hit a position in the company. I'd love for you to just come and see, what we did. And my dad saw me walk the stage. He heard what we had created. And then he came back to me after I got off stage and he said, why didn't you tell me about this? Like, this is amazing. Like, he got excited. He actually joined the industry. So did my sister. So did my brother eventually, because I went and decided to do it. I went and decided to make a difference for our family. But the biggest thing is I want you to know that there's a reason why you're here. Okay, because you have the ability to create a ripple effect to the world. For me, I had no idea that my family was going to go through some financial struggles eventually, because at the time I got in the industry, my dad had retired. He was on this venture of investments and putting money into homes and doing all kinds of things. His house was paid off. He was debt free. He had a retirement plan, everything. But then 2007, 2008 hit and the economy crashed. And all of my dad's investments and everything that he had put into were leveraged into an investment that went crazy, went the wrong direction, went down. He lost everything. My dad lost his house. He lost everything he had worked for 30 years. And I am so grateful that I went and chased my dreams, even when he thought I was crazy. Because of that, I'll never forget being in Arizona on business. And my dad called me and he said, I've lost everything. I don't know what I'm going to do. And I am so grateful that I was able to say, Dad, it's okay. Because I went out and I did this, I can take care of you and I can pay you back for all of the things that you did for me for so many years, the sacrifices that you made for our family. I can pay you back. And I was able to get them into a home and be able to, take care of them because of everything they had done for me. And I didn't know that was coming. I didn't know when he thought I was crazy to do this. And I still took action. The reason why I took that action was to eventually be able to pay him back and give him a life that he had given me for so many years. And so you don't know what's in your future, but there is a reason why deep down inside you have this feeling to go do something. There is a reason why deep down inside you just know that there's bigger things for you and for your family. There is a reason. Chase that reason, okay? Chase those goals that you have. Your family deserves the very best. You deserve the very best. But conquer these 6 things, okay? Because these 6 things, they are not you. That is not, those are just excuses as to what you can go do and what you can go create. You are born to win. You are born for greatness, and you know that, or you wouldn't be here today. So I just wanted to share that because we're not going to let fear stop us anymore. Let's go get unstuck. Let's go do some big things this week. You have the power to change your life. Okay. The way you change your life is one day at a time. It's actually one decision at a time. It's one moment at a time, right? What actions can you take today? What are the things that you can go do to slay the dragon, to conquer that fear, to make it happen? How are you going to win the day today? Win the day today, and every day win the day. And I promise you, in 7 days, you're going to have massive results. Okay. Love you all. Thank you so much for joining me today. Let's go make some big things happen, and we'll see all of you at all of our events that we have going on.